Hi, my name's Liz and I'd just like to tell you about some of the features of one of our infrared thermometers, the HLP-IR160, the model IR160. This is how it comes in the packaging. Very, very popular unit, and they're an infrared thermometer. This is it here, out of the packaging. This is what it looks like. Now to put the batteries in, you slide this cover down, take it off. It comes with two AAA batteries, so you just install the batteries in there, pop the cover back on. Oh, while the cover's off, I'll just show you one other thing. It has a serial number, a unique serial number printed on the inside of the cover, so that will control your traceability. Pop the cover back on like that, slide it up and lock it. Now it's ready for use. Now to use an infrared thermometer, all you do is pull the trigger, point at whatever it is you want to measure the temperature of, pull the trigger, and it will display the temperature on the back of the unit. Display it on the display here. It will hold it on the display for about 1 to 2 seconds, and then the display will switch itself off. On the back of this unit you also have a C and F button, so that is to change it from degrees C to degrees Fahrenheit. We have it now on degrees Fahrenheit. The other thing with this model, it has a red laser dot, so you can actually see where you're pointing it. Now with an infrared thermometer, measuring temperatures like food temperatures with an infrared thermometer, because it's non-contact, because you're just close to the food but non-contact, then it's food safe. You're not touching the food, you don't have to sterilize it or sanitize the probe before you use it, for instance. If you were measuring food that's come out of a truck and there's quite a few packages, then what you would do is pick up one of the packages, shoot the second one, put that one down, and that will be the temperature, which is indicative of the core. Now with an infrared, with any infrared thermometer, it measures infrared radiation. It measures a surface temperature, not a core temperature. It's just a surface, and it's the first surface that it hits. So even if you're measuring something which is inside a glass cabinet, you will see the red dot go through the glass of the cabinet, and you'll see it on your product. You'll see the dot on the product, but it's actually just reading the glass pane that you're shooting through. So that's the infrared. Thermometer. Now it measures, as I said, surface temperature, not a core temperature. Some people think that it is actually going to go into the core, but it's not. Now an infrared thermometer measures infrared radiation. Everything in the world emits infrared radiation, and that's what this is doing. It's reading infrared radiation, it's converting it to a temperature, and it's displaying it on the display for you. The other thing about an infrared thermometer is the way that the infrared beam, if you like, comes out of the head of the unit. It's like a cone. So it's narrow at the top and then it gets wider as it goes. It's not to a great degree, but it gets wider as it goes away. If you had this thermometer and you pointed it at something which is 5 meters away, 10 meters away, you'll see a red dot on the back, but it may be measuring an area which is this big. And in that case, if you were pointing at a light, it may be measuring the light and also the wall or the ceiling that's all around it. If there's a beam there, it'll be measuring the beam as well. It will average everything that it can see and it'll display it on here. If you're measuring food, then you're going to be fairly close, and you'll be measuring it fairly close to the food, and in that case you're getting a smaller sampling of what it's actually measuring. So you're actually measuring the food and not the food and the desk or the food and the bench underneath it. So that is an infrared thermometer. That's the HLP-IR160. A very, very good unit. Thank you. This is a close-up of the HLP Controls IR160 infrared thermometer. The trigger is just underneath. It's a gun style unit, so you put your finger around and pull the trigger to activate the unit. The head looks like that. This is the inside here. Here is the screen on the back, and this is the CF button to change between degrees centigrade and degrees Fahrenheit. When you pull the trigger, within 1 second you have the display of temperature on the display facing you. As you can see, there's a red dot. That is the laser dot that tells you approximately where you're actually aiming the unit. So the display will keep the temperature for 1 to 2 seconds, and then the display will shut down. That is to save battery life. You don't need it any longer. This is the HLP Controls IR160 infrared thermometer.